do actually in this quadrant. Next is what if I migrate some of my, let's say, workload to a different location. And in this case, we are talking about some cloud environment. The other aspect is that once you do this step into cloud environment, you will need to think about that, let's say, operational aspect. So will I need to change my, let's say, operations? How will I do this and that? Are there any dependencies back to my on-prem environment? And of course, if you do this step to this off-premise space, there will be no other option than to go with VCF, vSphere Cloud Foundation license, which is that, let's say, highest level of the let's say package you can have from VMware, and of course you will have to pay it. On the other hand, when we are talking about some cloud providers and their, let's say, terms with Broadcom, they can offer much better price to you than if you stay on-prem and if you use this let's say, same level of packaging compared to the off-premise environment. But of course, there is one, let's say, big driver to do such step, and that's the life cycle of the hardware. Your hardware, actually. So it means if you have hardware on premise, and if you will go to cloud immediately, it depends what is the life cycle of your hardware. So it means will it need to be in my book for another 5 or 4 years? What will I do with that hardware that I still have on-prem? Will I deploy something meaningful there in a different way? So this is like a big driver that can either support or completely destroy this step to do that off-prem, let's say, phase, if you want. Another aspect we will be looking at very often is that, let's say, cloudification. So it means what if I take my workload? What if I really either migrate it, or modernize it, lift and shift it into the cloud? Or what if I completely re-architecture my solution? I will go with cloud native, I will use containers, I will use some SaaS solution, and so on and so forth. So this brings us to discussion about cloud strategy. Do the client have such strategy already, or is it something completely new? Do you have people that can support you with this cloud native modernization? And of course, when it comes to SaaS solution, there might be a little, aspect you really need to understand, and that's the fact that once you do the step into the SaaS, usually you should also assess if you can do that step back or somewhere else. So it means if I do a step into SaaS solution, and unfortunately there is no way how to, let's say, exit this strategy, this might be even, let's say, worse case than to stay with VMware we are dealing with right now. So these are things you will need to assess. And of course, when it comes to, let's say, special clients and special, segments of industry like governmental bodies and so on, maybe you cannot even do such step in off-premise. So it means into any cloud solution. Which actually brings us to that last quadrant, which honestly speaking is something that is very difficult. And the difficulty lies in that fact that once you are talking to your client, or if you think about doing that step into the cloud space, you know and you understand that there will be change. So it means that you will need to do things in a little bit different way, let's say having completely different operations, having different, let's say, internal processes and so on and so forth. But if you are staying on premise and we will say, okay, we will just change some technology on prem, clients and business partners usually do not understand that there will be any change. So they are like, okay, but this is still on prem. Why do I need to do anything different? And so on and so forth. So that's actually the reason why this quadrant is very difficult to first understand and to describe and to convince a client and to do that step, because we are still where we are used to be, but we need to do things in different way. way. And there are like two main, let's say, drivers or momentums we can see. So it means first, if we do that step, we usually do that step with that ISV support. Software. So it means most of the workload is like 70 to 75% of workload running in VMware. That is ISV software. So it means SAP, Oracle, some database, and so on and so forth. So the question is, if I want to do that step out of VMware or to deploy in a little bit different platform, will that ISV support me to do so? Or is that software really supported for a different platform? Maybe yes, maybe no. And of course, if we are talking just about a virtualization, you will be like going that step into a different hypervisor. There will be another aspect, very important aspect, and that's that operational excellence. Because honestly speaking, there is nothing. I would say there is no other solution like VMware with the same level of operations you can have. So once you do that step outside of VMware, you will definitely need to change this operational side of things. So it means what to do, because there are like different quadrants, different steps you will need to do. And what actually Gartner says, because there are a lot of, I would say, bad things and no value or risk in these quadrants. Gartner says, what if the best solution is to really have like a cloud environment but running on-premise? So it means that you have that level of operational aspects with what the cloud standard, let's say, what cloud supports, and but you do not have it off-premise, but you have it on-premise. So this might be like a thing that will help us to understand and deploy things in a little bit different way. So now let's look at this quadrant, but from a little bit different perspective, and that's what Gartner sees. So it means how much of the client is about to migrate, how much will stay with on-premise, and so on. Honestly speaking, this is the latest version, but like 2 months ago, there were just 25% to go, let's say, non-VMware way. Right now, they say 30%. Anyhow, they are still the same. So it means you can either stay with VMware, you will try to optimize, you will really try to lower the cost for your environment. But on the other hand, you can go into that non-VMware way. So it means you will try to convince or find a way with your ISV software to do things on different platforms. And of course, you can do that modernization in a little bit different way. So to really optimize, modernize, reduce risk, and also reduce the technical depth. That's very important, actually. And of course, there is another aspect of this, and that's what Gartner says, that let's say time when there is just a single hypervisor in client environment is over. So it means we are about to see, let's say, environments that use different hypervisors for different purposes. So there will be different solutions how to drive these different hypervisors at once, how to really monitor them and how to operate them. And of course, when it comes to the transformation, you can either do the transformation after that shift of, let's say, or to non-VMware environment, or you can do it immediately from your current environment. But it again brings us to that, let's say, time constraint and aspect, that contractual, let's say, thing, and how quickly you will need to change if you want to change that VMware contract. So going back, we can have a look actually what IBM offers, how we can, let's say, help to assess these quadrants, how to minimize risk and optimize cost. So first, of course, IBM supports or provides that third-party support. So you can buy, I would say, time to really understand your workload, your environment, to have someone you can talk to that can help you, let's say, at that technical side of things. But of course, it's something like a tactical step. So it doesn't have any strategic, let's say, aspect. It's just like buying another time before you decide what to do, either stay or to continue somewhere else. But of course, when it comes to optimization, there is great set of portfolio or product portfolio that IBM brings us. So it means Turbonomic, very strong software that can assess your environment, that can optimize, that can really help you to consolidate workload. You see the let's say pricing aspect of such step. And of course, it's not only about, let's say, single optimization at the beginning, but it's like a continuous optimization you have to take in your environment and be, let's say, there where you want to be. Of course, this is still that, let's say, technicality, but if it's more like a business side of understanding you want to have, we can continue with Aptio or Flexera to really combine those business aspects with technical things and to see these steps and decision from different perspective. Next thing is, what if we, really stay, we optimize that environment by having Turbonomic in place, and what if we look at those licensing, but from that perspective, to do, let's say, some kind of due diligence of our environment, to really understand if we really need this and that. So, for example, NSX, if you want to or need to use NSX, you need to go to VCF. But then if you have discussion with your clients and see that they use just standard switches or distributed switches, there are ways how you can use, for example, Ansible to minimize usage of distributed switch. You can replace it with standard switch, and having Ansible in place, you can really do the same as a distributed switch does for you, but by using standard switch. Or when it comes to, let's say, way how you can group things, it's called distributed source resource, DSR. We can do even much more with Turbonomic, how to do some affinity groups, how to combine things based on much more greater, let's say, parameters than VMware have, and so on and so forth. But of course, there are certain levels at which, if you are, there is no way how to replace that VMware, and you will have to go with that VCF, let's say, license. But the thing is that if you find a way how to limit this VCF, and you will go to either vSphere Foundation or vSphere Standard, you will cut your cost in half, more than in half. That's very important. So when it comes to that step of premise, we can talk about IBM Cloud. We have a solution. There is a great agreement with Broadcom, great pricing, much better than you can have on premise. But of course, you will have to do that step. You can balance your workload from on-prem to off-prem. Again, hardware lifecycle and so on. That's you will have to deal with. But the solution we have in IBM is very strong. So it means this is the way you can follow. And of course, you do not need to do it on your own. There is a program in IBM, Bridge program, which actually helps you to migrate things into IBM Cloud, into that VMware environment. So actually, we are here to help you if you are going to do that step into managed VMware environment, or you can have that environment managed by yourself. So it's up to you. It's very, let's say, flexible solution. When it comes to ISV migration, of course, we can think about power systems. We can think about Linux One, these systems, and there are clients actually who are migrating both to power to sub. So we see this in the market these days. And of course, there are several ISV software that is supported on this platform. When it comes to cloud, I have already mentioned IBM Cloud. There are even power system to which you can migrate. And when it comes to that, let's say, second momentum or shift that you can do really on premise, here we would speak about or talk about a different hypervisor. So in this case, this might be KVM, so KubeVirt that can be run inside OpenShift platform. So it means you really let's say create completely new platform that supports containers, that supports virtualization. You have everything under single, let's say, pane of glass, so you can monitor. You operate things at once, so you do not need to split this. And of course, I mentioned let's say the end of those of that let's say single hypervisor environment. So that's the reason why we also have a infrastructure manager that can support different virtualization. Again, including KubeVirt, including Power, mainframe, and even VMware. So you have that, let's say, single pane of glass through which you are looking at your virtualized environment. The aspect of that, let's say, shift from cloud into your environment, on-prem environment. So it means about that managed on-premise infrastructure. That's what we can offer by having IBM Cloud Satellite. So it means you have the hardware on-prem, you have a connection to IBM Cloud, but IBM is like managing your infrastructure together with that, let's say, OpenShift layer. And thus, brings you actually cloud-based level of control into your environment with guaranteed SLAs and so on and so forth. So it's about, I would say, minutes to have an environment that has support on-premise. And you can migrate, you can operate things, you can even deploy other cloud services into this Cloud Satellite spot. So it's very very interesting, let's say, step you can think about. And of course, once you are about to do that change with your platform, so it means if it is OpenShift, if it is different virtualization, and what if you migrate like some other software like WebSphere or DB2 or whatever, will you migrate it into virtual environment again? What if there is a different and better option? So in this case, I would like to mention, let's say, our Cloud Pak portfolio. So it means all IBM software is containerized. So it means it can be run on top of OpenShift. So means there are containers. It minimizes the technical depth you can face just having everything in virtual machines. So by doing this platform modernization step, you can even modernize your applications. You can very importantly limit that technical depth. So what to do? And that's the question actually, or where to start. You will need to answer to yourself. One of my previous colleague, when he had discussion about what is the right architecture for this and that solution, and he said, the only correct answer is it depends. And this is actually the case. So it means there is no, let's say, right answer. It depends. It depends on client's goal. It depends on the current situation. So it means you have to decide, you have to understand, you have to, let's say, assess the impact of that step if you want to do that. But of course, we are here to help you. So it means if it is about some, let's say, tactical migration, as I mentioned, so it means for sure we have support you can buy. If it is about to really optimize the environment, to analyze it, there are several workshops we can help you with. So it means both Red Hat, even technology, Expert Labs has their own offering that they will help you to discover and optimize your environment and to help you to understand, let's say, your current situation, and will help you to, let's say, decide in which way to continue. Also, that VMware in IBM Cloud, as I mentioned, very flexible offering, new platforms you can follow, and of course, let's say, new aspects you can bring into your assessment. So it means, what if you not only think about the technology thing, but what if you put that business aspect into that assessment? So it means you have like alignment between technology and business. And there are much more we could do. We could even go much deeper. We could discuss different patterns with IBM software, but it's, I would say, too deep to go in this presentation. So I will rather, let's say, continue with some key products from IBM. I have already mentioned them, but I would say it's worth mentioning them once again, and really like to put them on that sun, let's say, to have them in a single slide. So the aspect of, let's say, the initial analysis. So it means if there is a solution that can help you to optimize your current environment, and of course, such solution exists. It's IBM Turbonomic, and if nothing else, IBM Turbonomic is thing I would like you to, let's say, remember, because it really has its value. It is beneficial even for those who are not about to do that, let's say, step out from VMware. It can really help you to optimize, to understand your environment, to consolidate your workload, right size your VM. So this is the solution like no other in the market, and there are many clients throughout the Europe, and I can talk about just about Europe, but throughout the world who see this benefit, and even simple POC will, let's say, convince you that this is the right way to do with your VMware environment. If I continue, and I have to mention it again, that third-party support. So it means if you need someone, you can talk about your environment to deal with the technical problems, to troubleshoot, and so on and so forth. For sure, we have such offering. So it means that you can buy that support. But as I mentioned, it's sort of tactical, let's say, step than really the decision or some strategic way you will probably continue with. IBM Cloud and our VMware Cloud Foundation. This is that solution if you really want to go off-premise. It is flexible if you need to have just a single node there. For sure, it is possible. If you want to create full-blown software-defined data center, you can do that there. If you need it on our basis, pricing, you can have it. You can sign the 1 to 3 level, years contract. So, and honestly speaking, when it comes to that operational aspects, this is like the only solution in the market which really doesn't block you in this operational side of things. So it means it's more or less like if you are on premise, so that level of let's say current situation you have on premise, and the way how you will let's say operate the infrastructure in IBM Cloud, it's really like one-to-one the same. The program that can help you with that, let's say, off-premise step. So it means once you decide to go off-premise into IBM Cloud, into that VCF environment, we are here to help with that, let's say, migration. The second or the next thing is that aspect that I mentioned. So it means that you try to combine, let's say, business level understanding with the technical side of things. So it means that you see your decision from even financial aspects. So you can, let's say, have visibility into your environment. If it's just a cloud environment, we can talk about cloudability from Optio. If it is let's say, full stack, if you want to understand your TCO, you can calculate it. You have that really visibility from this different, let's say, business aspect. So it will help you to understand it and to do the decision that can bring you the value even at that level. Next, and that's actually IBM systems. So it means hardware, Linux one, Z system, power system. I will not go into details, but they have its own position in the market. As I mentioned, there are several clients that are using it. And also there are several ISVs that support. So it means you can easily migrate from VMware into such systems. And of course, you can have even OpenShift there. So it depends on your workload and the, let's say, strategy you would like to continue with. What I would like to highlight too is, let's say, standard X hardware. So it means AMD 64. So it means the IBM Fusion. IBM Fusion as such, it's really a storage solution, but it can be easily deployed, and it is deployed in Fusion HCI box. So it means you have a single box where you have a storage system, where you have nodes, you have compute nodes, storage nodes, master nodes, you have even GPU nodes, so you can deploy your AI workload in it very easily, and it's completely supported or let's say bound to OpenShift. So there is OpenShift layer, and anything you can imagine you can deploy in this actually box when it comes to some, let's say, more advanced configuration, like some metro clusters, DR solutions. This can be done very easily with such boxes. And that AI workload, which is actually very, I would say, very often mentioned in the markets. That's the right actually place where you can have it even on premise. Infrastructure manager. So that's the solution from our Cloud Pak for AI Ops. So it means that that's Red Hat actually CloudForms, which we get. And as I mentioned, this is the solution you can utilize to have your virtual environments, your hypervisors under control, no matter if it is KubeVirt inside OpenShift, if it is Power VS, if it is some mainframe solution, or if it is even VMware. This is let's say that single pane of glass you can have and let's say oversee everything from it. And this actually brings us to that application modernization. But of course, if you are about to do some application modernization, I would say the most important aspect is if you have the right platform to which you will deploy your, let's say, new application. So it means it's not only about the applications as such, it's really about the platform that you can deploy here and there, which means different hardware, different systems. It can live inside your on-premise environment. It can be off-premise in clouds. It can support different storage solutions, different networking mechanisms. So this is actually the discussion you should start with. So it means once you will be willing to change that VMware, and you will still need some kind of, let's say, virtualization. What if I have a single, let's say, environment in which I can operate both containers with my with my virtual machines? or even some serverless solution. So this is the discussion you can have, or you must be able to discuss, and that's actually what I would say that flagship from Red Hat can bring us. And honestly speaking, I'm not aware about any other solution like Red Hat with all those let's say levels you can have, all that all monitoring, all let's say role-based access control, security by design in the environment. It's really incomparable to other solutions. And of course, if we would like to compare it to Kubernetes, it's like, or in my opinion, it's like comparing a standard car with Porsche or Bentley or something like that. Because every time you will find something more in that OpenShift environment than the other, let's say, offerings will allow you to use. But of course, you do not need to go just with OpenShift. You can even utilize our Cloud Tech for Applications. So it means together with that OpenShift, you will get even much more when it comes to that can help you to modernize your application. So we can talk about transformation advisors. We can talk about mono to micro migration tools that can help you with that migration. Even with those VMware VMs migration to Cube virtualization. So there are a lot of things and tools we could discuss, but I would say not now, but just let's say this is one of those things you can think about when it comes to application modernization and let's say IBM way how you can do so. Further, if we continue in Red Hat portfolio, we really must mention Ansible. So it means automation tool that helps you do things in automated way, no matter if it is just some kind of application level automation, or if it is infrastructure automation, or if it's that migration from VMware to some different virtualization. This is the platform you can think about. Honestly speaking, we use Ansible very often during our projects because this is the right way how you can do things in a, let's say, automatic fashion. And yeah, there will be a lot of manual work if we do not have such. Another, I would say, completely different topic I would like to discuss and mention here, and that's, I would say, the topic that is really driven in the market these days. So it means generative AI, all those large language models, and how we can use it here and there, how we can prepare new application, how to really do things in Gen AI way, and so on and so forth. So everybody is talking about it these days. But I would like to focus on, let's say, special aspect of this new approach we see, and that's, let's say, code assistant. So it means, imagine that during your application modernization journey, you and someone you can talk about, let's say, things. Sorry. So it means you have your body in this battle. So it means, for example, if you write Ansible and you are about to use some Gen AI, you can use our watsonx code assistant for Red Hat Ansible Lightspeed. So it means you can easily generate those tasks inside playbooks in really much more efficient way. And it goes even to that level that once you have a certain, let's say, set of playbooks already developed in your environment, you can even train that assistant to take those or take your playbooks into account and to, let's say, build tasks in a way you are used to use with all those, let's say, prepared things you have already developed, and so on and so forth. So really strong solution if you are working with Ansible. Another aspect Or another code assistant we can discuss about is code assistant for Z. So it means this is the assistant you can help that can help you with application modernization in mainframe space. So it means are you about to understand your COBOL code? Yes, this assistant can help you. Is it more about like refactoring? Yes, you can do it with this assistant. Or are you really about to switch from COBOL to Java? Yes, there is the model that is really fine-tuned. But we could continue. The I would say important thing of all these assistants is just that there are certain steps in that life cycle of your application where these assistant can help you. It's not only about having a code in programming language A and you can immediately switch it to be programming language B. It doesn't work like this usually, and that's what is actually reality. There are several aspects you have to take into account. So it means it's more about some understanding, about planning, then decision how you want to do the transformation. Then you will, of course, need to validate, deploy things, and so on and so forth. So this is that, let's say, segment of solutions you can take into account if you are about to do application modernization, or if you need, I would say, someone to talk about your code in a little bit different way than in sort of test-driven development and pair programming style, and so on and so forth. So in IBM, it's like I would say matrix style of decision. So we are big blue IBM all together with big red hat. And honestly speaking, it's like the decision between two pills, which way you want to follow. I wouldn't say there is one way better than the other. It's more about your decision. It's really about the complexity of the environment. So it means if we think about a low complex environment, you can really easily go directly with Red Hat. So it means that there is, I would say, speedy way how you can assess your low complex environment and how you can easily migrate it into KubeVirt. So it means OpenShift virtualization. But if it is not the case and your environment is really complex, you will need to first understand it in very great details. There are several, let's say, technical and workload problems you will need to go with that high complexity. And that's actually where IBM can be very helpful. We have several offerings, as I mentioned, that can help you to understand, help you to decide, help you to guide. And of course, several aspects of those patterns. I didn't go into details where we can spend another hour or two to discuss the options. So this is that, let's say, virtual modernization assessment from Red Hat, as I mentioned. So it means few days you need to spend on analyzing your environment, and you will see if there is actually a way how to continue and directly continue into OpenShift virtualization. And if not, and if it is really, I would say, very complex environment, then it will be like a strategic decision and I would say big project. You will have to go through several phases. Of course, you have to start with some discovery. As I mentioned, Turbonomic is the right way where you can start very easily. And then it depends where you want to go, if you want to go, and how to plan things forward. So what next? As I mentioned throughout my presentation, it really depends. So it means Gartner says that all clients are actually evaluating their current situation. So it means there is really all of these clients are discussing it. So it means if you are the client, you probably do so. If you are a business partner, and if you think about your clients, it depends. You have already started this discussion, because if not, believe or not, or be sure that clients are discussing with someone else and not with you. So it means the time to act is actually now, and it depends on you what you want to do and how you want to do it. But anyhow, we are here to help you to do that step. So thank you very much. Now I'm not sure if there is an option to ask questions. We can answer, or if there is still some time, which I'm not sure if there is. But Kostya can continue and quickly show Turbonomic or Instana. So it's like that beginning you can start with, no matter if you want to stay or if you want to continue to some other options.
Thanks, Yurzy. We didn't see any questions in chat right now, so I think we have like 10 minutes to demonstrate Instana and Turbonomic as well. Коллеги, касательно в целом концепции по модернизации приложений и того, что можно делать с VMware, действительно решений и подходов есть много, начиная от on-premise платформ, использования OpenShift, перехода от монолита к микро или просто использования клаудных ресурсов. Хотелось бы, наверное, презентацию в конце все-таки показать два программных компонента от IBM, о которых упоминал Иржи. Это Application Resource Management решение, которое называется Turbonomic, и Application Performance Management IBM Instana. Оба решения на сегодняшний день в нашем регионе уже есть успешные истории с реализацией POC, пилотных проектов и коммерческие внедрения. Поэтому, если есть интерес, приходите, спрашивайте. А сейчас я покажу, как это все выглядит и как это вписывается в парадигму модернизации приложений непосредственно. Я надеюсь, что мой экран виден. Или, наверное,
пока что нет. Да, можете, пожалуйста.
А сейчас? Это, собственно, Application Resource Management, решение Turbonomic ARM. То есть основная идея этого зонтика – это визуализировать наши с вами приложения и построить supply chain всех бизнес-приложений в нашей инфраструктуре. И, соответственно, получать ответы и рекомендации, как нужно эту инфраструктуру модернизировать, перераспределить ресурсы, возможно, какие-то сервисы или приложения вынести из on-premise, как вы видите, в какие-то облачные аккаунты к облачным провайдерам, для того, чтобы получить оптимальную, эффективную экосистему бизнес-приложений. Turbonomic, естественно, понимает и on-premise, и cloud. Мы сейчас немножко дальше посмотрим, как это выглядит. И, собственно, история – это получить вот эти вот рекомендации, как нам нужно инфраструктуру модернизировать под бизнес-KPI, под наши SLA, под наши сервисы. В целом платформа позволяет разрабатывать и правила по автоматизации, по контролю. Сейчас мы это, наверное, быстро тоже сможем увидеть. Если я хочу, например, посмотреть вот на перечень там действий, я хочу сначала посмотреть на все мои приложения, которые присутствуют в системе. То есть сразу же мне показывает бизнес-аналитику, а именно, какие сервисы не соответствуют нашим СЛО и что, собственно, изводит к тому, что вот здесь вот красненьким светится нерабочее состояние нашего приложения. Если я хочу пройти конкретное бизнес-приложение и увидеть, я вижу всю цепочку сервисов, на чем оно живет, какие базы данных с этим связаны, что, собственно, привело к тому, что мы видим, что у нас приложение работает неправильно, как это влияет на бизнес-транзакции и исходную информацию о действиях. В данном случае, то есть он просит переконфигурить MySQL базу, потому что нарушается некий комплаенс с просьбой добавить виртуальных ядер. Если мы вернемся на вкладку Actions, это перечень всех действий, которые сейчас система рекомендует делать там, по on-premise инфраструктуре и по облачным сервисам. То есть виртуальные машины, их ресайзинг, их рескейлинг, удаление, остановка, автоматическое приобретение каких-то сервисов, перенос и тому подобное. Это вот базовый набор тех правил, которые можно делать с помощью Turbonomic. Пример, вот там какая-то CentOS виртуальная машина, есть действие, которое влияет на общий перформанс приложения. То есть мы видим, что нужно перераспределить память, и где этот таргет находится, как повлияет это изменение на параметры до-после, policy, которые применяются, собственно, к конкретной виртуальной машине или конкретному приложению. И вот здесь вот внизу есть возможность сделать execute action, то есть отправить команду на выполнение или, например, сделать автоматически заявку в нашем сервис-деске, в ITSM решениях на то, чтобы администратор обратил внимание и применил это действие. Если мы вернемся к истории о анализе эффективности использования наших инвестиций, Turbonomic может подключаться к вашим аккаунтам Google Cloud, IBM Cloud, AWS, Azure и, собственно, учитывать стоимость и показывать возможную экономию после оптимизации. Более того, на сегодняшний день мы еще и даем оценку, а сколько нужно потратить, если какие-то действия требуют дополнительных каких-то ресурсов. То есть очень часто, например, на KPI может повлиять отсутствие там, вычислительных ресурсов в виде памяти и ЦПУ, и необходимо просто перенести приложение на машину с параметрами лучше. С одной стороны, мы можем оценить, сколько стоят эти инвестиции, с другой, сколько мы можем сэкономить за счет выполнения вот всех вот этих действий по рекомендации. То есть пример AWS, контейнерная инфраструктура, советы от Turbonomic о том, какие действия нужно применить, на какие инстансы переехать. Наверное, самым интересным тоже стоит показать это то, что Turbonomic на базе ваших аккаунтов в том числе может видеть какие-то специальные офферы от этих вендоров. То есть, например, вы понимаете, у вас есть дисконты от Google или Амазона на какие-то виртуальные машины, это тоже все будет учитываться в вашей статистике. То есть история такая, что Turbonomic может показать, как, например, можно оптимизировать существующую VMware-инфраструктуру, куда какие сервисы вынести, чтобы освободить инвестиционные ресурсы, например, этот ресурс направить потом на переход от того же монолита к микросервисной архитектуре. Если интересно, приходите, спрашивайте, расскажем. И второе, наверное, решение, про которое стоит упомянуть, это Application Performance Monitoring, который, скорее всего, особенно в разрезе модернизации инфраструктуры является важной частью наших сервисов, потому что мы должны понимать, а работают ли приложения, а как влияют те или иные изменения на его работоспособность, доступность, довольны ли наши пользователи, клиенты. Собственно, Instana, Application Performance Monitoring, или мы ее любим все-таки называть Instana Observability платформа, это зонтик, который смотрит на ваши приложения, на вашу инфраструктуру, на бизнес-сервисы и собирает и коррелирует данные о производительности, визуализирует их и предоставляет вам единый интерфейс для того, чтобы вы могли понять, если происходит какая-то ошибка, провести root-cause-анализ и понять, в чем, собственно, проблема. Пример Robot Shop Application, тестовое приложение. После установки бэкэнда и установки агентов на наши хосты, а это единственная метрика, которую мы на сегодняшний день используем при лицензировании, вы можете увидеть всю топологию вашего аппликейшена, то есть с какими сервисами, из каких подсистем он состоит, статус этих подсистем, там, есть ли проблемы, есть ли в целом какие-то ошибки. Вот пример, что есть проблемные вызовы на сервисе, который отвечает за программу лояльности. Если мы хотим на них посмотреть, собственно, инстанна может через веб-хуки, через интеграцию с Teams, средствами коммуникации оповестить того инженера, технического специалиста, который отвечает за это приложение, что происходит что-то странное, вот сводная информация, открывай интерфейс и начинай смотреть. Пример, вот мы видим какое-то возросшее количество ошибок, которое влияет на работоспособность нашего сервиса. У нас есть рекомендации или политики, что, собственно, можно автоматически применить поверх этого сервиса, или же рекомендация действий. Это могут быть рекомендации от IBM, это могут быть рекомендации с вашего ITSM, прошу прощения, сервис-деска. Но также мы можем проанализировать, например, все вызовы по этому приложению, какие из них были проблемные. Вот, например, мы видим там этот сервис, был некий запрос. У этого запроса есть tracing ID, то есть я смогу сейчас даже провести поиск именно по этой конкретной сессии. Но, собственно, проведя и провалившись в один конкретный вызов, я могу увидеть всю цепочку взаимосвязанных сервисов, где, на каком уровне произошли ошибки, и справа, собственно, трассировку, ошибки, те логи, метрики, которые, собственно, приводят к появлению вот этого ивента. Если подходить к вопросу исследования там, клиентских сессий, точно так же мобильный банкинг, мобильные приложения, каждый пользователь потенциально может быть, мы можем провалиться в его отдельную сессию, проанализировать, с какого устройства он подключался. Пример, вот, собственно, мобильное приложение, робот-шоп. Количество пользователей, сколько из них уникальны, география этих подключений, количество транзакций и тому подобное. То есть можно, например, там, проанализировать всех пользователей, которые подключались с какого-то конкретного региона. Что касается инфраструктуры, с обратного, если подходить к мониторингу не от приложений, а от инфраструктуры, IBM-овские платформы от мейнфреймов до рисков, Kuber, VMware, Windows, системы виртуализации, OpenShift. Это все мы можем мониторить. Если интересно, перечень поддерживаемых технологий тоже мы можем показать. Но мы можем визуализировать нашу инфраструктуру, открыть, например, некий, там, в данном случае, кластер Kubernetes, и получить сводную информацию о его утилизации, о ресурсах, операционных системах, которые используются, интерфейсах, где они живут, какие у них адреса, перечень технологий, которые постятся на этой инфраструктуре. И это все по факту лицензируется довольно-таки просто, без сложных механизмов расчетов. Скажите нам, сколько у вас хостов, мы сможем вам показать, сколько потенциально будет стоить для вас инстанс. Ни памяти, ни сложных каких-то функциональных зависимостей и тому подобное. Помимо этого, дашборды вы можете создавать самостоятельно, правила и создание скриптов, которые вы можете встраивать в ваш CI/CD процесс, то есть условно проверять там доступность сервисов после публикации каких-то новых версий. Ну и, естественно, механизм аналитики всего, что происходит у нас по нашей инфраструктуре. Возможности поиска очень большие, то есть эти правила будут создаваться автоматически, но со временем там любой администратор потенциально самостоятельно может, понимая, что ему нужно найти, создать шаблоны и построить вот всю эту визуализацию, подстроить под себя. Собственно, на этом, наверное, у нас все. Коллеги, спасибо большое за интерес к IBM-овским технологиям. Если у вас есть вопросы, вы можете их задавать нашему дистрибьютору, можете писать нам вместе с Иржи. И, собственно, призываем вас дальше смотреть серию вебинаров. Надеемся, они для вас информативны. Ну и, собственно, до скорых встреч. Спасибо.
Thank you.